Hey, what's going on, everyone? Let's go blue. Let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube there. Marmarski, I see you there in the chat. I appreciate you being here. Everybody, yeah, so tonight I actually watched the spring game. So I have some thoughts on it. I have some thoughts on what I saw. And I'm going to be joined shortly by Marmarski. Let me know if you want to be called Marmar or Marmarski. I think Johnny calls you Marmar. But whatever you prefer, let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube. Let's see. All right, there's my modern winged helmet with the red insignia there. All right, there is an ad. Let me just do that. Okay, let's see. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, there's me. Let me just fix the speaker so I can hear Marmar when he comes up. So let me get rid of the Yeti and get the Real Tech. All right, we've got the Real Tech. So I'm going to play the intro. I have a few points I want to make. And with that, I'm going to be joined by a guest tonight who I think is going to be a repeat guest over the summer. Let's go blue. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusef Dunbar. I am a Michigan alum, a proud Michigan alum, and a supporter of our Michigan Wolverines football, basketball, swimming, golf, lacrosse, all of it. I support all of it. Volleyball. All right. So tonight, we're going to give some reaction to the spring game. I know I'm about 2 weeks late. I was up in Buffalo doing my book signing, so I didn't get to watch it until I could see the replay. I've watched the replay over the last week and a half. And so I'm going to give some brief thoughts on that. And then Marmar is going to join me, and we're going to talk about it and some other things. But I'm going to sprint through a couple things before I give my very, very quick analysis of the game. But you know what? Before we start, let's start with a Brady Hoke drop. Let's just start with the Brady Hoke drop, just for old time's sake.
We understand what Michigan football means and what Michigan football is. We will always be about the team at Michigan. This is never going to be about Brady Hoke.
All right. As I was getting ready for the stream, I was just thinking that here on this channel, I didn't capture which Wolverines got drafted into the NFL. So let me do that really, really quickly, just for the sake of completeness. I'm a scientist, so that's what I do. I need to be complete. So let's just run through this really, really quickly. And you guys let me know what you think there in the chat. This is just a very brief review. A lot of you guys know this already, but this is just for completeness. So thank you, StreamYard. All right, Mason Graham went in the first round, 5th overall to the Cleveland Browns. Let's see. Colston Loveland, my favorite Michigan tight end of all time, for that touchdown pass he caught in the 2022 Ohio State game. He went in the first round, 10th overall to the Chicago Bears. All right, Kenneth Grant, my favorite Michigan defensive tackle of all time, for chasing down Katron Allen in Happy Valley 2 years ago. He went in the first round, 13th overall to the Miami Dolphins. So Kenneth Grant is taking his talents to South Beach. Let's see. Will Johnson. Master William was taken in the second round, number 47 to the Arizona Cardinals. I got to meet Will and shake his hand. Did I shake his hand? After the Maryland game, the championship season. Josiah Stewart went in the third round, 90th overall to the Rams. So he's going to join Blake. And then Khalil Mullings went in the 6th round, 188th overall to the Tennessee Titans. Miles Hinton went in the 6th round, 191st overall to the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, so that's where they went. Donovan didn't get drafted, but he did sign with it's escaping me right now. But those are the Wolverines that got drafted. Give me a second, Marmar. Get rid of that. Let me close that. Okay, so yeah, so I was just watching. I was watching Joe Klatt. I was watching Joe Klatt last night, and I just finished watching him. So Joe Klatt gave his preseason rankings. He gave us the number 12 ranking. Joe Klatt's preseason number 12 is Joe Klatt's preseason rankings have Michigan at number 12. That's in his top 25. You'll never guess who's number 1. Maybe Joe Klatt knows something we don't, but he picked Penn State to be number 1. So Joe Klatt has Penn State as his number 1 team in his preseason top 25. The big news out of Ann Arbor this week was obviously one thing was Santa Ono, President Santa Ono, not coming back. But the much bigger news is it seems that this Connor Stalions business has not gone away. Buckeye Alex reminded me of this about a month or so ago. So it looks like Michigan is going to once again do a preemptive coaching suspension, and Sharon Moore is going to sit out 2 games this season, and that is to try to stave off what may be coming from the NCAA. Okay. And we know that during the championship run, Coach Harbaugh sat out the first 3 games, and then the NCAA came back and suspended him for that magical run where the Wolverines knocked off Penn State, Maryland, and then Ohio State without Jim. So we're kind of going through this again. Rich Eisen did a show with, I think it was Dan Wetzel, talking about whether or not the NCAA would rip the championship. I know Ohio State fans are really, really looking, and there's a huge food fight going on X right now between Michigan fans and Ohio State fans. And Ohio State fans want our championship banner ripped. But the question is that going to happen? Well, let's see. Hopefully this thing with Sharon being suspended for 2 games, hopefully this satisfies it, but we shall see. Okay, so let me just give my brief thoughts on the spring game. I have Marmar backstage, and Joe Klatt. What his one point was when he ranked us at number 12 was if the offense plays, if the offense shows up and starts to generate yardage, and we can put up points like we used to, then this will be a top 10 team. Okay, he expects, just like I expect, you all expect the defense to play. It's led by Rayshawn Benny and Derek Moore, and Ernest Hausman, and Jayshawn Barham and Rod Moore. You're bringing all those guys back with some new additions. So the defense should be able to show up and show out once again. But we don't know who the quarterback is going to be. Hopefully, we have some consistency on the offensive line this season. And I think I agree with Joel. If that offense can get its footing and the defense continues playing, then this is a top 10 team. The spring game. So there were only 2 quarterbacks played, Bryce Underwood and Jaden Davis. Mikey Keene, he was hurt, so we didn't get to see our new transfer portal quarterback, our veteran transfer portal quarterback from Fresno State. I think Bryce Underwood won that matchup. Jaden didn't have a good spring game, in my opinion. And he didn't really move that offense, the Mays team, with a lot of consistency. Bryce looked good. He has nice touch on the ball. He can make those NFL throws. He has mobility. He did take some deep shots. And it reminded me of JJ when he first got the start. He was throwing deep balls to some of the wideouts, but they weren't connecting. And I saw that quite a bit. Aside from that final touchdown pass, that flea flicker that they ran, the deep ball is there. So I think they're going to try to, especially if Bryce is the starter, they're going to try to stretch the field. They will be able to stretch the field. And I think, yeah, at least between those two quarterbacks, I think you start Bryce Underwood. Let's see, the running back room, that's going to be deep. You got Jordan Marshall and geez, I can't remember the guy's name from Alabama. Justice Haynes. I knew this about an hour ago. The Capana kid, he played. The Kudzall kid, he played. So it's going to be a nice, deep running back room. We should get lots of production there. Marlon Klein's probably going to be the #1 tight end. Fred Moore and Donovan McCulley, those are going to be our 2 starting wide receivers. So I think the weapons are there. It's just a matter of how soon can we get that offensive line to gel. Thank you, Keegan. It's Haynes. It's Haynes. Justice Haynes. Appreciate that. So I think the 2 unknowns on our offense are going to be the quarterback and the offensive line. Okay, can that offensive line gel? Of course, with a much better quarterback back there now, it's going to make their job easier versus having Davis Warren and Alex Ortiz trying to figure it out. And I think that's it. That was my analysis of the game. You don't really, in the spring game, the team is split, so you don't have all of your entire starting offensive line unit. You don't have your entire defense playing together because they do that draft. But I think yeah, if depending upon who the starting quarterback is, I think Michigan is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I don't think Penn State's the #1 team in the country at this time. So with that, everybody, I'm going to bring up Marmar. I was watching Johnny Olden's playback from Sunday night. And I only got as far as watching Maniac and Garrison kind of joust with each other. So I didn't really get to see Marmar put his 2 cents in, but all I saw was Garrison and Maniac. So I'm going to bring up Marmar. He's going to give us his thoughts on the spring game and what's going on with Sharon Moore and just the Michigan football program in general. So let's welcome up Marmar. Peace, Marmar. What's going on?
Hey, peace, brother. Hey, thank you for having me.
No problem.
So I was at the spring game. So I was just taking in the stadium. I just love that place. That's my second home. So I really wasn't. I was just watching Bryce. I really wasn't. I seen the runs, but when they put it on the television, I have watched it like 9 times already. And the more I watch it, the more I see that we are 20 times better than what we were last year. You could just see it, the run game. I know it was just, showcased a little bit throughout the spring game. But the one running back, I think he's going to be running back #3. I don't know how to say his name, but he was getting loose.
Is it Capana?
Nope.
Oh, was it
the other
Cudgel?
one?
It was Cudgel, right?
Yeah, Cudgel. Yeah, he was nice. No disrespect to Capana, but Cabana better be running better be getting all them reps in fall camp. He better be working on his footwork and everything and how to see the hole, because the guy you just mentioned, he was seeing that hole. Cuzdahl was seeing the hole, and he wasn't just getting 4 or 5 yards. He was getting like 10, 11. And that was something to see. And if you could add that to the running game, the running back, 2-star running backs now. So you'll have Jordan Marshall, who I think is going to start, and then Justice Hayes. And if he can run, Haynes, if he can run like he did for Alabama, the world's in trouble. The Big Ten's in trouble. because now you got to stop two dynamic running backs, a quarterback that can use his feet and got a laser arm and can put the ball where he wants to put the ball. Then you got the fullback that can block. Then you got the two tight ends. Number 42 might start over Hogan. That's just my opinion because he showed out. So with that, and then the receiver core, because you don't got to. The receivers ain't got to do a lot this year. You feel me? I know we didn't because I think they brought in these running backs. They brought in these running backs from the transfer portal. They brought in two more. I think they're going to use a lot of running backs in the passing game as well. Because why would you bring all these running backs in if that's not the case? That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but Chip Lindsey likes to use the running backs and screens too. So yeah. So I think we're gonna be okay with the offense. I think it's gonna be 2023-esque type of offense. And like you said, it's dependent on the O line. I think they're gonna be better than last year. I think
Yeah.
they'll be able to hold up.
Well, with a dynamic passer back there, that's going to make their job easier. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think we all want to see Bryce start at this point. I think that that's going to depend on what Mikey Keene does. But I think, yeah, I think with his abilities, I think it's going to make the offensive line play. It's going to be easier for them than it was last year. And then the other thing, I think the other beneficiary of all this, you mentioned the wide receivers. This McCauley kid, he looked pretty tough. Okay, and the other beneficiary is going to be Samaj Morgan. Okay, because I think when he was effective, he had multiple weapons around him, and if you get the ball to him in space, he can just run around and make defenders miss. So I think we're going to see a resurgence of Samaj Morgan this year.
I respect that, but I'm a Peyton O'Leary guy. I just think if Peyton O'Leary had the right, because if you go back and watch Davis Warren's highlights throughout the season, Peyton
Yeah,
O'Leary made great catches. I mean, great catches. He made a catch in the backfield, then he hit a fake spin, and he got like 17 yards off that. He elusive. He a good route runner. I just think with the right quarterback, I think you can showcase his talents. A lot of people ain't high on O'Leary, but I am. I think he could be an X factor. Yeah, he has. Yeah, and he got great hands. Like Keegan said, he got great hands. Um, so I think they have figured it out. Um, I just think it's going to look better than it did last year. Reason why I believe in foundation and stability. They didn't have that when the hardball left. You know what I'm saying? Because Sharon Moore had to rush into this. So coming into the 2024 season, it was rushed. But you see, when they got that last 2 weeks, because before the 2024 season, they lost 2 weeks because of the hardball leaving, and you didn't know what coaches was leaving with them. So that took about 2.5 weeks. They got them 2 weeks back doing a bye before the Northwestern and Ohio State game. Did you see what happened in them games? They blew Northwestern out. That was the first blowout of the year with Michigan. They blew them out. I mean, they manhandled Northwestern better than Ohio State beat them. Like we manhandled Northwestern. Then we go into Columbus and shut them down. Like I said, they only had like 30 plus yards in the fourth quarter combined, and then 0 first downs compared to Michigan's 7 first downs in that fourth quarter. So they went in that 2 weeks of bye, they went to work on something. Sharon sat down and analyzed it. it clicked, something clicked, and it produced. Then you seen it go reciprocate in the Alabama game without 26 starters. So something clicked, something manifested in that locker room to where these people went out here and start performing. Our offense was still stagnant, but our defense held us in them last two games. They held up. They shut down two teams that made one didn't make the playoff, the other one won the national championship. So I think they built off that. And I think the depth that we have coming in on the defensive line and the cornerbacks and the safeties that we have and whoever you have play nickel, I think that's going to be the X factor for the defense. You got depth, you got rotating pieces. It looked like 2023 defense when it rotated guys, kept guys fresh. You see what that took us. You see how far that took us in 2023 season. So I think we are good on the defensive side. Like I said, we gotta wait to see what this offense is gonna look like. But I think it's gonna be better than last year. And then I think the kids that are coming in for the fall camp, the summer, I think
Mhm.
they're going to like the saying, iron sharpen iron. I think they're gonna make the offense excel that much more because you got offensive pieces coming in the summer that's going to push guys that got to practice in the spring and play in the spring game. Then you got defensive guys that's coming in. I want to see what that boy Nate Marshall do. Um, that's coming in. I want to see how he's going to challenge the rotation to be out there. Yeah, in my opinion, he's a 5-star. So we just lost Bennett to UCLA, and he had a good spring game. So Marshall can fill in that role for him. And then, like I said, Jasper Parker coming in on the running back side. You got another. You got Dodson that's coming in. That's Bryce's best friend from Belleville. He can challenge the defense because he can play safety or corner. So I think we are in good hands. And then with the house settlement, yeah, Dominic Nichols too. And with the house settlement, the judge came out and said that they don't want kids losing them walk-on scholarships. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to ruin kids' life. So that's why they ain't signed off on it. So something's going to have to happen if they don't have to cut them walk-ons. That depth is crazy for Michigan. It's crazy depth at Michigan. Then they can go out and get some more people to fill them gaps. So, like I said, so yeah, I just think that iron sharper iron. I think we're gonna be good. So I think that's what we're gonna build. We built off of it. It's gonna go into 2025. Like I said, I'm going to the first game. I want 70 to 3. That's what I'm hoping for. 70 to 3. I want you to obliterate this opponent. So when you go over to Oklahoma, they be like, oh, they for real this year. See, last year I went to the Fresno State game. It was
Yeah.
ugly. And then Texas exposed that ugliness and blew us out. So now if you go out and do this to New Mexico, see, it's all about corrections from a first year head coach. Okay, it didn't go well the first game of last year, but I can come into this game and correct the mistakes I made last year at the first game at home because now you go on the road and play Texas nemesis Oklahoma this year on the road. And yes, it's going to be tough, but I think Michigan will be able to pull it off. So
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing last year too was the play calling. Was our offensive coordinator Campbell? I don't think Campbell knew what he was doing, and so I think we're going to see a lot more innovation and creativity on offense this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chip Lindsey. I watched Grant Perry do a short on it. Remember Grant Perry? He was a nice little receiver. See, Michigan always had that little short receiver. Avant was short like that, can get through the hole. And then you had Gallen, and then you had Grant Perry.
Very.
Yeah, Roman Wilson. The little guys. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
they 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 right run, and that's what I hope Shamaz Morgan can be. Because Harbaugh, if you paid attention, Harbaugh, even though he fumbled the ball in the Rose Bowl, he kept putting them in there. And I said, that's Harbaugh's guy. Harbaugh likes him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're going to be all right. We'll see. We got, 177 days to see what it's going to be. I think Sharon Moore is going to be all right. I don't think he's going to let the suspension distract him. I don't agree with the suspension because he already been suspended. They keep saying he a repeated offender. I don't know. I wish they'd take the politics out of this stuff. And stop caving and just speaking just stand up for your school. You know what I mean? This is Michigan. Like Brady Hoke said, this is Michigan. And you have to stand up for each other, man. We are family. We're not a cult. We are family. This is a unit. We should be moving in unison, not trying to out the president because he didn't go along with your plan. Then you go make a story out on the New York Times and throw him under the bus. That was wrong. That's why Santana left. He left because they try to get him to go up against the Trump administration.
Is that what it was?
And yeah, so the thing is that they try to get him to they try to get him to go up against it, like with the DEI stuff. They try to get him to be
running away.
And, and they wanted him to fight that, and he wasn't on that. And if the president's gonna run your university, you should respect that and be like, nah, because we don't want to be in a political fight. Because like they said, this is one of the top public universities in America. So what it look like that you fighting back and forth with Washington, D.C.? That's not a good look for the university. That scares people away. You don't want to put that type of cloud over your university. So the president stood 10 toes to the board of the regents, and they didn't like it, so they ousted him out. So he left.
Okay. Yeah. John U. Bacon, he had some interesting analysis of that on X. I won't get into all that. I don't know. It sounds like you have a nice firm handle on what happened, but I won't try to get into all that.
No, go ahead. That's why we're here.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I thought he might get suspended, or they might opt to take him out of the first two games, but it looks like he's going to be there for the Oklahoma game.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's two of the I don't want to say the lesser games, but he'll be there for Oklahoma.
All right, to add on to that, so Michigan is doing all this right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And people don't think this is the way Michigan fighting, but they go sit with the committee in June. They go sit down with the NCAA committee in June. So if they don't accept this in the committee meeting, I believe Michigan is going to fight it. If you get what I'm saying. If they don't accept, see, because it's crazy that he got to choose the games he wanted to be suspended for. You get what I'm saying? So something is going on behind the scenes that is not being reported. The only thing that's being reported that he is being suspended, but they not telling the backstory behind it. Why is it them games? Like the question is why he get to choose the games. And so if the NCAA behind the closed door has signed off on it, and then they go in the front of the committee and they say the NCAA say we are okay with this. Let's move on and close the case out, and probably get a recruiting violation. Then they'll do that. Michigan will do that. They don't have to fight. But if they're not going to accept it, they will fight it, and then they get dragged on for years and years. And by the time that happens, NCAA won't be an entity anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Keegan says they absolutely won't accept just because they're like that. Okay. All right. So Marmar, so going back to the quarterbacks situation.
Yep.
Do you have a prediction? You want Bryce to start on day one?
Yeah, I've been Bryce number one all day. He's just too. So when you get a chance to watch the spring game again, rewind, fast forward it to when there's 44 seconds left. Okay.
You mean the flea flicker?
And yeah, before the flea flicker, the interaction between Bryce and Sharon Moore. So this is what I believe. For the first, what? How many minutes in the game? Supposed to be 60 minutes. Okay, so 56 minutes for the first 50, for the 59, however, 58 something seconds. Not hold on, 59 minutes and something seconds with 44 seconds left on the clock. They were you see Bryce go across his chest like this, and he's over there talking to Sharon, talking about the play. And then he laughing, and then Sharon Moore's laughing. And then they do the flea flicker, and it goes for 98 yards. And they knew that that to me that told me that they knew it. This is what they've been working on, but they wasn't gonna show it for the first 59 minutes of the game. And then they was like, let's throw this one play out here and show them what we've been working on. And that's the way you ended the spring game, leaving fans to leave that stadium with like, oh, that's what we gonna be doing. Like with the RPOs, the way he ran that ball, like when he got up out of this, when he scrambled, that's gonna be deadly. That's going with the run game, and if you throwing, to your receivers, it's gonna be a multiverse offense. That's what I call it, the multiverse offense, because it's gonna be so many Avengers out there to throw to. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Then the run games is so. I think it's gonna be more than complementary football. It's gonna be either the pass gonna open up the run, or the run gonna open up the pass. It's gonna be so versatile. People gonna have to pick their poison on tape to what to defend, and it's gonna be tough. And then if you let that, and then you got to play up against that defense. So if Michigan go up by 21 in the first half, and then all you tell your defense is don't let them score, and then you got fresh bodies of rotation. And then you got that on the defensive back side too. You can rotate in out the defensive backs to keep them fresh.
Yeah,
it's gonna be suffocating.
I think what I hear you saying is we have a lot of depth this year.
Yeah, a lot of depth. You're gonna have to have a lot of depth for the playoff run.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard some fans concerned too that they don't want us to turn into Ohio State where we become pass first. And I kind of agree with that. I want to keep our identity. I want to keep our I want to stay a run first team, even though we got this phenom quarterback. I want to stay a physical run first team if I have my wish. that's what we would do.
And that's what Chip Lindsey, that's why they brought Chip Lindsey in. So, Bryce got to sit down and talk to all the offensive coordinators that were being considered to be the next OC at Michigan. And he got to talk to Chip Lindsey, and he liked him. He chose Chip. He chose Chip.
Is that right?
Yes. And then he got to talk to Drake May, the Patriots quarterback. And then, that convinced him to even pick him. Chip Lindsey. It's gonna be dynamic. You've seen it at the end play. You've seen it. He put the ball right in that man's hand. He led him. He didn't get him tackled. He led him. And if he's 17 leading his receiver tight end down the field, he led him. He didn't, throw the ball to where he had to come back and get it tackled. No, he led him to a 98-yarder. And if he can do that, because I think he's going to do that a lot in the New Mexico game. I really do. I think they're going to try to test him, and Michigan going to test it. They're going to see how tough you are to defend this young man's arm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah, I just believe that we good. We good. I just feel it. And Ward, I feel it. Like, come on now. Like, They added so much depth. Like, Mikey Keene coming back. He's going to challenge Bryce because Mikey Keene is so experienced that he'll be able to see things Bryce can't see right now because he's a freshman. You get what I'm saying? So if he can pick up on that in fall camp quickly, well, a lot of people in trouble. Because if we start seeing like Keene seeing it, and with the talent that Bryce has, I think it's going to be a lot of trouble. I think it's going to be a lot of trouble. It's a lot of coaching on there, on the staff. Like I said, the starting defense wasn't even in the spring game, and they managed to shut somebody out.
Yeah.
0. So that just tells you about the depth of the defense. What stood out to you in the spring game besides the quarterbacks and the running backs?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the wide receivers. I know we lost Tyler. I was looking to see, because you're not going to get solid offensive line play. I was looking to see which running backs would get off. I felt like Kapana and Cudgel, they got most of the carries. So I think they rested Justice and Jordan. Yeah, so we saw the third and the fourth running back. I was looking at the defense. I was looking at I was doing some analysis. I was looking at where the line was lining up and the linebackers, what they were doing. The scheme looked pretty similar, obviously, to what we saw last season. We got those 2 kids from Arkansas.
The McCaff brothers.
Yeah. So I mean, like you, I was looking to see how Bryce looked.
Yep.
But also, the pieces around him. I think the defense is, like you said, it's reloaded. You have some leaders back, like Rayshawn Benny and Derek Moore and Hausman. Hausman looked a little bigger.
He looked big. Payne or Williams, whatever one it was, he looked like a monster truck running out there on the field, warming up. I said, who is that? That's crazy work. Link didn't look bad. Link, people want to talk about Link, but Link did all right. He did okay. Link did okay. dominant Dominique Nichols. He a stud. The McCaffrey brothers, they both good. Like I said, there's so much depth out there. Um, we in better hands than we was last year. People ain't gonna be able to. We gonna wear people out. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna wear people out because we can rotate so much on the defensive side and on offense. You keep everybody fresh, you can make a long run in that playoff.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a big year. You have a strong defense, and they just need to give the offense time to grow and gel. And that's what you want. You want us because defense wins, and you want to play complementary football. Egan says,
Hey, Anwar, do you see a lot? Facts, Keegan. He only had one mistake. Do you see? In my opinion, I see a lot of first round draft picks, but they gotta prove it because Michigan, if you paying attention what they put in the NFL draft, and it'd be the next people stand up, step up the next year. Nobody knew. No, we already knew who Graham was, but we didn't know Grant was gonna come out and do that. We didn't know that. Like when Mike Morris left, we didn't know. What's the one to play for the Bengals? I forget his name.
Chris?
Yeah, Jenkins. We didn't know Jenkins was gonna step up like that. After Mozzie Smith, you had Mozzie Smith. Like all these people are good, couldn't pay. All these defensive linemen, Aiden Hudson, Ojabo. You put these kids in the NFL, and it's every year now. It's every year, and it's what we had 3 going the first 3 rounds. I mean, the first round.
Yeah.
13-10, ain't that crazy? That you had one go 10 and then you had another one go 13, a player. And that was the score of the Ohio State game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Yeah. And then now, so now you got, I think Benny first round draft pick, lottery pick. I think TJ Guy is. I think Derek Moore is. I think Jair, Rod Moore. I think Zeke Berry can make a case for himself if he play outstanding. The 2 linebackers, Jason and Hosman. Yeah, I think they can make a case for it. And then the defensive line, whoever you got plugged in there, Payne or Williams, I think they could be first round picks. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential of first round draft pick that majority of Michigan players off that defense will go first. Like in the first 25 of next year. If they play to that ability in the Wink Martindale scheme that they got a grasp on now, because he simplified it, I think they have a lot of first round draft picks. It'll be like Georgia in 2021.
Okay.
I think that's the depth we got coming back, like Georgia 2021.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Marmar. Let's take a quick look at the schedule, and then I gotta bounce in like 10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
I appreciate you coming up.
I appreciate you having me.
Do you remember what you contributed to the convo on Sunday once Maniac and Garrison?
Yeah, what I told you, I texted it to you. Yeah, I told him. I said, "It don't listen." So the Buckeyes again, they want us to accept the natty, but we are not going to accept the natty. Somebody tried to make an argument after I made this statement. I said, "Y'all didn't beat the defending national champion," and then somebody rebutted and said, "No, y'all didn't do it either." But listen, to my argument to that is that Michigan and Ohio State play in the same conference. So That can always happen. That's always a possibility that Michigan win a national championship and then go play Ohio State and then they go win a national championship. But Ohio State didn't beat the defending national champions for the season prior. So you can't claim that you beat us, the defending national champions for 2024, and expect us to accept your daddy, but we are not because we beat y'all and y'all didn't beat us, the defending national champions. We have our own trophy and then you have your own trophy. You didn't take the trophy from us, you won one for yourself. So that's my argument to that.
And they did it without winning the Big Ten championship too.
They haven't, and that when they had, I watched their parade, and when they had the trophies on display, they were
Yeah,
missing a lot of trophies.
they were. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I went to the national championship celebration, and we had a lot of trophies there. That was nice.
All right. So the Wolverines, yeah, they kick off against New Mexico on August 30th.
They got a time for it yet?
No, it's just to be announced.
Dang, bro.
It is 3 months away. It's 4 months away. So
Man, I want to know now because I got tickets to that game. I want to know if it's a night game. I really want it to be a night game.
you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So the week after that, they go down to Norman to play the Sooners. I was looking at tickets for that one. So I've never been down there. The week after that, they got Central Michigan.
So is Maniac. Maniac talk about going down there too.
Okay. Yeah, don't be surprised to see me down there in Norman.
Yeah, then y'all can link.
Yeah. Central. They got Central the week after that.
I'm going to that game too.
Okay. You in well, you don't have to say where you are right now because we're online.
No, I'm in Ohio.
Oh, you in Ohio? Which part? You up near the border?
I'm like 15 minutes from Dayton.
Okay, so that's like 75.
So yeah, you just take I-35 up. So if you're going to a noon game, you just take the I-35 north up towards Toledo, but you can drift off to the left and take the Ann Arbor exit, and that's only like an hour and 15 minutes from there. And then if I'm going to a night game, I'll go all the way up to Pontiac, Michigan, and go see family, and then we'll go to Ann Arbor. Yeah, I'm right here by the Wright-Patt Air Force Base.
Okay.
If you ever heard of it.
Okay.
You ever heard of Wright State University?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live like 5 minutes from there.
Okay. So Big Ten play starts on September 20th at Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's another stadium I've never been to. The Wolverines host the Wisconsin Badgers on October 4th. They go out to USC on October 11th. They host the Washington Huskies on October 18th. And then they go up to Spartan Stadium.
I think that's going to be a tough game.
I think so too. Well, but Michigan State, they're going to be looking for retribution for last year.
And now Jonathan Smith understands the rivalry.
Yeah.
Because when he was at Oregon State, he beat the Ducks a couple times.
Okay.
So I'm not going to sleep on that. I'm not going to sleep on Jonathan Smith. I think that's going to be because they got Aiden Childs at the quarterback. He another dynamic kid with an arm.
Okay.
So, and this is second year in the Big Ten, and he elusive and he can run and he can zip it. So I think Michigan don't sleep on that game. Okay. And then do we play Washington?
Yeah, I think that's the week before.
Okay, don't sleep on that game either. You got two tough games against two dynamic quarterbacks. That boy for Washington is nice. I mean, he got some Caleb Williams in him. So with the little jukes, and he'll pump fake you and then cook you and then take off. Yeah, he got that in him. So don't sleep on him. That Washington and Michigan State game, they're going to be So this easy schedule starting to look tough.
Yeah.
Okay, because I watched the Washington spring game, and they're gonna be tough. Purdue gonna be a little tougher because of the new coach that came from UNLV.
Okay. Okay. So they got Purdue on November 1st, and they have a bye. And then they go out to Northwestern.
Yep,
Quite
that's at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, there are quite a few games here I might go to this year.
Yeah, that's at Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field. Then they come here to play Maryland. I'll definitely be at that one. And then they host Ohio State on November 29th.
And don't sleep on Maryland. You know, it's always been tough.
I know they're tired of losing to us. I know they're tired of it.
Yeah. And they be getting very close. The last two, 22 and 23, yeah, they got very close.
Yeah. When they in 2023, yeah, Michigan didn't run away with that one. That they pulled away late, and they had to force Talia to get that intentional grounding call, and JJ was hurt.
But Maryland breaking in a new quarterback. We gonna see how he do.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second, Marmar.
We guarantee our best deals on any smartphone with your choice of our best plans. But we can't guarantee that your employees in a similar work style. You hire them, or your staff, all having the same vibe. I'm like this one. When you design team, you're on the same page. For 2002, what AT&T does guarantee our best deals on any smartphone with your choice of our best plans for any employee. And we need any. This is Oreo, melty, cheesy, creamy, toasty, lustrous rock for
All right, so there we go. So, question is, will Michigan be a playoff team this year? I think yeah, there's enough there to be a playoff team, to be one of the top 12 teams. So let's see what happens. But we will be back throughout the summertime. And if I can do this weekly, then we can do this weekly. Then we'll do this weekly. Marmar, you got anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, I think we're gonna be all right, and it's we ain't dealing with the mess we dealt with coming into 2024. I think he got a better foundation and stability. He got a grasp and the hold of the team now.
Look who's in the chat. Johnny, you want to come and give the benediction? Johnny Olin Jr. I'm gonna drop the link if he comes. You want to come and give the benediction, Johnny? Come and give the benediction for us. We got royalty here. Let's see if he comes up for a minute. Johnny, I was telling. Okay, he's not at his computer. All right. I got to get over there with you guys on Sunday one of these days. I'm usually out running around on Sundays, but I was telling Marmar that I only got as far as Garrison and Maniac. But I appreciate you stopping through, Johnny. Much respect. Marmar, go ahead.
Facts. J-O-J. But yeah, man, I like I said, we just I think we better prepared for this season. And I think we're gonna be all right. Like I said, the new kids that's coming in during the summer, I think they're gonna push guys to the best of their ability. I think we're gonna hear a lot of good news coming out of fall camp.
Okay.
Yes, it is. And yeah, you gotta come to JOJ show one time and cook with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, shout out to JOJ, Maze Man, Maniac, Kinetic, my boy TJ and John Diamo. They doing it big for Michigan. So, they're getting the content out. They let us know about recruiting. They have discussions about the Connor Stallions thing. And then JOJ let us come up and cook and go up against the Buckeyes. Like I said, I quit arguing with the Buckeyes because at this point, it's just delusional friends, and you shouldn't entertain stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Because if you keep entertaining crazy people, they gonna keep doing crazy things. So you know what I'm saying. And then you can't speak to the deaf. You just gotta show them. So and you can't hold people's hands because you can't walk their path. So yeah, that sums up the Buckeye fan base right now. Yeah, they're very I think they lost individuals, but it's okay. You can keep losing to us. So that's my sentiment.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Marmar. We'll talk some
Thank
more.
you. All
Go
right,
blue.
go blue.
All right. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wind this stream down. Thank you to everybody who watched. Please like, share, and consider subscribing if you are not subscribed. I will be pinging Johnny before the summer's up to, come back and give his synopsis on Team 146. So look out for that, and yeah, look for us again. I have my ticker going down there. I did write a sports-related book. It's called "The Engineers of Western New York Basketball Story." The paperback. I'm selling signed copies for $22 and the hardcover for $25. Yeah, for my YouTube subs. So if you're interested in getting a copy of this, you can use one of those methods there, but make sure you send me your mailing address as well. The hardcover on Amazon is for going for $35, and the paperback is going for $27. So I'm discounting it. But anyway, with that, go blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and we will talk to you all the next time. Bye-bye.
And no matter the storm, always know you're gonna make it through.
Always know you're going to make it through.
Facts.
That's right. That's right. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Hey.